1 week they say that Israel controls the United States. A week later they say the United States controls Israel. This is hogwash.
I want to address that. So, look, we don't want in Israel, we don't want a vassal state, and that's not what Israel is. So it's not about monitoring in the sense of, you monitor a toddler. It's about monitoring in the sense that there's a lot of work, a lot of good people who are doing that work.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has had enough. Flanked by US Vice President Vance in Jerusalem, a visibly animated Netanyahu unleashed on critics who can't seem to make up their minds about whether Israel controls America or America controls Israel. His verdict? Complete hogwash.
1 week they say that Israel controls the United States. A week later they say the United States controls Israel. This is hogwash. We have a partnership, an alliance of partners who share common values, common goals. We can have discussions, we can have disagreements here and there, but on the whole, I have to say that in the past year we've had agreement, not only on goals, but how to reach them, and I think we're pursuing them successfully.
Netanyahu said that Israel had successfully placed Hamas under immense military pressure, while the United States helped isolate the group.
We've been able to do two things. Put the knife at Hamas's throat. That was the military effort guided by Israel. And the other effort was to isolate Hamas in the Arab and Muslim world, which I think the president did brilliantly with his team.
The remarks came during a joint press appearance in Jerusalem on October 22nd, where both leaders discussed the post-war future of Gaza and the international role in maintaining the ceasefire. Vance appeared optimistic, saying that while challenges remain, the ceasefire is progressing better than anticipated.
It's not easy. I never said it was easy, but what I am is optimistic that the ceasefire is going to hold and that we can actually build a better future in the entire Middle East. But that requires some work. So it's not about monitoring in the sense of, you monitor a toddler. It's about monitoring in the sense that there's a lot of work, a lot of good people who are doing that work, and it's important for the principals in the administration to keep on ensuring that our people are doing what we need them to do.
Vance emphasized that Washington's recent wave of high-level visits to Israel, including those by President Trump himself, envoy Steve Witkoff and senior advisor Jared Kushner, were designed to support the peace process rather than supervise Israeli decision-making.
For a second, I want to address that. So, look, we don't want in Israel, we don't want a vassal state, and that's not what Israel is. We don't want a client state, and that's not what Israel is. We want a partnership. We want an ally here.
Yet Netanyahu's carefully measured language couldn't entirely mask his concerns, particularly regarding one potential participant in any international force: Turkey. Relations between Israel and Turkey have deteriorated sharply since the war began 2 years ago. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan has emerged as one of Israel's most vocal critics, repeatedly condemning its military operations in Gaza and across the broader Middle East. A day prior to meeting with Vance, Israeli Prime Minister, Netanyahu met the Egyptian intelligence chief Hassan Rashad. According to media reports, the two of them had huge disagreements, following which the Israeli PM's office issued a statement that there would be no Turkish involvement in Gaza.
There is no disagreement. There will be no Turkish involvement.
Despite the tensions, Turkey has played an important diplomatic role in persuading Hamas to accept Trump's ceasefire framework. But Netanyahu's message was clear. While he avoided direct confrontation, he stressed that any foreign involvement in Gaza's security must be trusted and aligned with Israel's objectives. Answering a question about the Turkish involvement in Gaza's future, Netanyahu said,
On the question of the Turks, I think, let me quote the Vice President from yesterday. He said that I have very strong opinions on that. And he also said, we have to do it with, Israel will be obviously decide together on who does that. So I have very strong opinions about that. You want to guess what they are? Yeah, you know them.
Despite the diplomatic niceties, the tension was palpable. As the guns fall silent, new divisions are surfacing over who will control the day after in Gaza. For Israel, it is about security and sovereignty. For Washington, it is about stability and partnership. For Turkey, it is an opportunity to reassert regional influence. And for the Palestinians, it could determine who governs their future. Meanwhile, according to the Wall Street Journal, Hamas had agreed to halt public executions of alleged collaborators and rival clan members in Gaza after international outrage. Videos of armed militants executing residents shortly after the ceasefire took effect had circulated online, drawing condemnation from Arab and Western mediators who feared such acts could trigger a resumption of Israeli strikes. According to Arab officials, Hamas privately assured mediators that it would end these executions to prevent the ceasefire from collapsing. The decision came after direct pressure from the United States and Arab partners involved in Trump's peace initiative. American envoy Steve Witkoff and senior advisor Jared Kushner conveyed a firm message to Netanyahu earlier in the week. Israel must ensure any retaliation for Hamas violations remains measured and proportional. The appeal came after Israel launched multiple strikes across Gaza on October 19th, targeting Hamas sites following what it claimed was an attack that killed 2 Israeli soldiers. Hamas denied responsibility, blaming the assault on an unauthorized group acting independently. Arab mediators from Egypt, Qatar, and Jordan immediately intervened to de-escalate tensions, warning both sides that renewed fighting could unravel the fragile peace. For Washington, the stakes could not be higher. Trump's ceasefire plan, hailed as a potential breakthrough, is built on mutual restraint and the gradual disarmament of Hamas. Under the agreement, Hamas is expected to surrender its heavy weaponry and allow vetted Palestinian forces to take over security duties in Gaza. In exchange, Israel would ease border restrictions, allow reconstruction funds, and support limited self-governance for Palestinians under international oversight. But mistrust remains. Any new exchange of fire could destroy months of careful diplomacy. The White House, acutely aware of that risk, has warned both sides that future US aid and reconstruction funding hinge on their cooperation. Trump's warning to Hamas was therefore as much a deterrent as a reminder of the fragile progress made so far. His administration has made clear that it will not tolerate provocations from either side. Meanwhile, on the ground in Gaza, uncertainty hangs heavy. Residents, weary from years of bombardment, fear that even a small spark could reignite the conflict. Some accuse Hamas of provoking Israel through reckless actions, while others resent what they see as US-imposed control over Palestinian affairs.